Hey, we about to have a party up in here.
That part.
Welcome, everybody to Makeup and Tea with our
Hey,
special guest, Al from The Link.
hey, hey,
Welcome,
hey.
Al.
Thank
Y'all, I'm not
you.
able to have my sister on here. She's a part of Makeup and Tea, and she's not able to be on here, but we're going to go ahead and do this. And hopefully she'll be with us next time. We want to go ahead and talk about Real Housewives of Atlanta. In
Yes,
this season 12 reunion, it has been, whew,
a lot.
this whole season has been a lot. Yes,
A
it's,
lot.
it's, it's been a lot and not enough all at the same time. All at the
Mm.
same time.
Say that.
So, Al, like, what do you think? Okay, let's start off. Let's start off. What do you think about Cynthia? And she's getting ready to get married.
Hmm.
What you think is in the future for her? Like, she hadn't said
Oh,
anything, but it kind of feels like this is gonna be
man.
the end for her.
Mm-mm-mm. So thank you guys. Thanks for welcoming me to you guys' Makeup and Tea. I'm excited to be here. I do want to thank Keisha for actually hosting today. And I know how quarantine is if you're out in quarantine. So you would definitely understand the co-host and how she's not here today. Everybody has their situations during this quarantine, huh? So I'm glad to be here. I'm going to be your pop and political commentator for the show. But I definitely want to get into some Cynthia T. So, I'm very big Housewives franchise, but I'm very big on Potomac and Atlanta. So this is why I'm here to spill some tea on this whole debacle when it comes to Cynthia and her husband. So, or her husband to be. So with that being
Right.
said, how I feel, me honestly, I never, and I'm just gonna give you my opinion, and this is only gonna solely be me. And if I had an alleged sign, I would hold it up because it's just gonna be me ranting, okay? But how I feel about Cynthia is she never really had a good, genuine storyline. I wouldn't say she's the coon of making up a storyline to make it fit the show. I'm not gonna say that. I'm not gonna say that, but I can definitely say that she's the type that her storyline just magically fits into the narrative of what's going on in other people's lifestyle. Like, she realized, oh, if you get married, you can get a spinoff show. But hers, when a spinoff show was more of like or a little series, it was more like in the actual show, and they showed it all in one episode. They kind of gave us some pre stuff, like her getting, like that was her storyline the entire season. So to me, in my personal opinion, her storyline really hasn't been consistent enough to hold a legacy. I'm glad she's had her tenure on the show. I think her and Nene's friendship has been great, ups and downs and in between. One of the most legendary co-hosts that I've known to know have once said that friendships sometimes are great if they have maneuvering emotions within their friendship. So with that being said, her and Cynthia had some in their friendship, and I think that was very great for the show. But how long is that going to actually last, right? So for me, I feel like this is her time to say, "Hey, let's go." But just my perspective, and I think how she can continue to make a coin, and how Bravo has known to do, make some magic happen if they really love Cynthia and her tenure. I feel they can send her right on to Beverly Hills in the LA area, and not that she has to be on the show because she's not even on the show really on Housewives. She's just a friend of another friend to make her storyline be important. And I'm not trying to spill no tea, but since somebody's drinking tea, we just all see it on national TV, right? So, with that being said, I think Cynthia can be that type of girl that can be a friend of Beverly Hills and then do a pop up when she goes to her wine cellar and do a pop up in Atlanta. She's the type of girl that she can just she's a chameleon. That's the great thing about Cynthia. She can navigate and be friends with the girls in Beverly Hills and be friends with the girls in Atlanta. She's a navigator. She's a chameleon. If somebody else hates everybody, she's gonna hate everybody. If somebody like everybody, she's gonna like everybody. She's that type of girl. She fits in any mode. And I think Bravo is very big
She
on how they make their money and they want that good old coin. They'll maneuver her being a franchise over there. Not that she's in the same level she's not even on the same level of the girls in Atlanta. So let's just leave that level stuff alone because she's not. She's never going to be that level of a Nene and she's never going to be on the level of any woman on the Beverly Hills Housewives. So let's chop it up as she's gonna be a friend that flies and has businesses because what they can do, they can pretend she's so busy with her businesses and married life that she has the time just to pop in and give you just a little bit of Cynthia and pop right out. And I'll pop in over here to give you a little bit of Cynthia over here where the drum is hit, and then I'm gonna be right out and make her little coin and go home. But that's just my opinion. I know y'all probably gonna be commenting on below, but Keisha, tell me your opinion. What do you think? How do you think she can navigate? What do you think she's gonna do once marriage hits?
You're right. She is a chameleon, but she's more like wallpaper.
Oh, Jesus.
She blends in. Don't get me wrong, I like Cynthia, but I feel like she has more to offer and she refuses to offer it. I feel like other people make up a storyline for her. They create a storyline for her.
Yes.
I feel like she's been holding on to this beef with Nene.
For a storyline?
Just so she,
yeah,
for a storyline. And then, of course,
show online.
And then Kenya helped create a storyline for her by how Kenya was disrespectful about the Bailey wine cellar, how Kenya almost ruined her engagement. So those were things that Kenya did that helped create more turmoil with, for her, that allowed her to have a better storyline. Because had Kenya not done that, besides her and Nene being into it, what else would we have been talking about concerning Cynthia? And again, I don't see us talking about anything.
You watch them Nene lives and those Nene YouTube shows, you missing the whole drama behind all the scenes, because that's the stuff that you really need to be paying attention to when they really on their lives, or that's going to give you the whole scoop of how people just utilizing one person solely to come up with a storyline, and that's getting played out. So I always feel like Bravo just getting tired of the same hokey doke, that they can't be the same. So I think that's the bringing the new girls in here and bringing a friend here. It's like, bring us something else besides attacking one person. But then when you look at some of the stuff that Nene says, she turned around and turned them down too, and like, oh no, they're doing it too, and they're just as bad as us. Keisha, go ahead.
I also feel like, y'all, if our video is lagging or anything like that, we apologize. Please comment and let us know if you can't hear us, if the video is lagging, if you're not getting good quality, because what we see, that our video looks good, but that doesn't mean what's being received on the outside is a good video. So please let us know so we can make adjustments. But I don't feel like she would fit in with Real Housewives of Beverly Hills. Yes, she fits with Atlanta because they make that space for her, per se. Real Housewives of Beverly Hills, those heifers are rich. Like, they got money. And they're on a completely different level than where Cynthia is, and it, and you talking about be a friend of the show. Whose friend is she going to be? And true enough, they make up relationships and they make up friendships, but I don't see it. I think it'd be in her best interest, because I feel like she should be bi-coastal when Real Housewives of Atlanta is filming, and she should occasionally come in and film and go back home to LA for a few days with her. Well, she'll be married soon. Go back home there and then come back for a few days and film some more. Right. I feel like that's the only way she's gonna make it, because I feel like when it comes to her businesses, you don't never really, after she creates something, you never really hear anything else about it. She does not keep promoting her stuff. So I'm like, her main stream of income is Real Housewives of Atlanta. She started, what was it? The first thing she had was the Bailey modeling agency.
Right.
It may still be going on, but how do we know for sure? And we never hear anything about it. She never talks about what events and activities they have going on. And then she started a candle, whether she was sponsored or she created a candle line. She had a candle line. Then she had her eyewear. Where her glasses at? Because she does not talk about her glasses anymore. I went to her website, and her website is up there, and all her glasses are on sale for $39. They went from $275, and 90% of them are on sale for $39. Not saying I don't love a good sale. Yes, but not saying I don't love a good sale, but I mean, and then cargo, her luggage deal, and line. And then she has I want to say a purse line. I completely forgot about Seagram's. She has like a flavor of Seagram's that
Yep.
that's hers, or however they collaborate. That particular flavor is quote unquote what she advertised. Yeah, I completely forgot about it, and that just came out last season. And she happened to bring it up one time this season. Like I had forgot she had a Seagram's deal. So she I did. She doesn't.
Not at all.
I
Not
don't
at
know.
all.
I'm like, at least Candy keeps all her businesses at the forefront. She wants you to know everything she's doing. She talks
Yep.
about everything she's doing all the time. And I'm like, okay, if y'all don't learn nothing else from Candy, you need to advertise what you got going on all the time. And I can honestly say too, same thing, but not the same thing. Candy had been slacking on talking about tags, and this year she started back talking about tags a little bit more. But it's just like Cynthia. Just I feel like when Peter did his conversation, shout out to Michelle Brown, ATLN, straight from the A, when she had Peter on live with her, he made a comment. And it's something Nene has been saying for years, but he made a comment that Cynthia has not shown people who the real Cynthia is. She has been providing this persona of what she thinks people should see, what she thinks people should think or feel about her. And he was like, no, she is, when she was calling folks MFers and was going off, he was like, that is the real Cynthia Bailey.
Mhm.
That is the chick. He said if she was that person all the time, she would be number one on the show. And Nene had been saying for years that Cynthia has not been showing who she really was. So to me,
Yep.
that was confirmation that, and I have to say this, Nene has never lied.
Nope.
Anytime Nene has said something, I always come back that she was telling the truth. So let me sip my tea.
Sip that tea, because that is full tea. I'm a witness of that too. And like for me, I think Cynthia, she definitely needs this check and this coin. I think she definitely don't have a lot of options when it comes to her own financial success outside of her modeling gig back in the day, and now Housewives is a consistent income. I'm all about the black woman making a coin, so that's why I was thinking optimistic about her being a friend of Beverly Hills and a friend of Housewives, because if Marlo can be a friend for years off of Nene's lifestyle, then I feel like Cynthia can float right on over to Beverly Hills and get that. Girl, you
Right.
magically been my friend for 10 years. We've been talking before Housewives even started. You know how they come up with them storylines, child. Y'all know
But
how
she's
they
gonna
be,
have
child. We've
to.
been friends for 10 years. That's why Candy, what is it, Eva and Yo-Yo, she kept saying, yeah, we've been knowing each other since college, girl. And Eva like, girl, what? I ain't never met you in my life. Now it just made me question all the time. It always made me question, especially because I have friends that work in the industry. And they talk about how fake some of the storylines they come up with just to make somebody merge into the story. And it's hilarious that one person don't remember and another person does, and it just shows on national TV. Like, girl, no, I don't remember you. Now it could be either she's being very petty, which it could be true because as we see, Eva
Yeah.
is known to read
Yeah.
and give you a good nasty read,
But
child.
she always
So
forgets her reads. Like she do not
yeah, she
remember her
definitely
reading
forget her
she be
reads.
giving out. And I'm like, girl, just own your read. Just own it.
Yes, and my thing is
Own
she's
the shade.
always promoting, and the thing going into Eva, she's always promoting how she doesn't write her reads down. She just know them off the top of her dome. But for somebody to know them off the top of the dome, she don't remember none of them reads, child. And I understand, but if you're a rapper, child, you remember some of them raps. You don't have to remember all of it. But you remember, like, when somebody start bringing it up to you, you start ringing the bell, like, oh, I did say some crazy shit like that, But with her, like, girl, they bringing you the whole tea, especially Candy. As you know, Candy is kind of late. She writes all her stuff down. She's a bookkeeper. I don't know why people keep calling her the bad. I
The
don't know
bone
why they keep
collector,
calling her that.
your
Bone collector.
bookkeeper.
No, she's the bookkeeper. Because Candy keep it for 6 months, a year and a half, 2 years, 10 seasons, and come back and say, well, no, on the first season, what you said was, I'm like, girl, you weren't even on the first season. Get away,
Right.
but
But but I'm gonna tell you something. Eva made the comment that the reason why she does not agree with what people said is they have to quote her word for word. But one word is not quoted right about what they said she said, then that's not what she said. And I'm like, that's semantics. That's
Yes.
semantics. You now just cause they said instead of them saying plucked and you picked. Come on now. I mean, really?
Right. Right. That's
But
crazy.
that was her excuse for her always denying what people said she said because they don't ever quote exactly word for word verbatim what she
Right.
said. And I'm like, really? Is that's the game we're playing?
Mm-hmm.
And so back to Cynthia, we're gonna get on Eva in a minute, but Cynthia, I don't know. I would have to see if she would be able to. I'm curious if she plans on leaving, if she plans on coming back and filming off and on during the next season, or if she just completely leaves Real Housewives of Atlanta, or if she comes back and just becomes a friend of the show and occasionally get a check when she shows up in Atlanta, or like you said, show up with Real Housewives of Beverly Hills. But like I said, I don't know, y'all. I'll be interested
Comment
to
below,
hear what
y'all. What do y'all
anybody.
think? Are you with me with her going back and forth on both episodes and getting a good old check? It ain't gonna be the same amount of being a full-time housewife, but I could just see Bravo doing this written storyline where they going out to the club and so happens Cynthia's in the club chilling with her little new homegirl that she so happens to have in LA, and then she's dancing and the girl's like, oh look, is this a girl she gonna, and then they go to the next thing, they might eat lunch together, and that's the 2 episodes. She got a good 2 episodes in, she done got a good 100K off those 2 episodes, and then she gonna fly right there and go
You
handle her
ain't getting
wife
paid no
business.
100K off of no 2 episodes. You now see you embellishing. You embellishing now. You
I was trying
embellishing.
to give her a coin, y'all. You see, I'm trying to be great and give this lady a full coin and a full check. Don't cut her check down. Don't at least let her get 6 figures. Please let her get
For
six
two
figures. And
episodes,
she
she don't even make
contracted,
that
y'all.
much.
So let her go ahead and get 6 figures and go right on back to Atlanta and run her wine cellar. And then she gonna have a party at her wine cellar. And so happen the girls see her at the wine cellar. And oh, it's Cynthia. We haven't seen you since you left. You don't know how
He
they
is
do it.
so
They know how to get
hopeful.
over
He
the
is so
monster. We're gonna
hopeful.
pray for
Please,
Cynthia getting this.
he is very hopeful. Please give us y'all's comment on what y'all think as far as Cynthia. Do you feel like she's gonna stay in Atlanta when she gets married? Is she gonna come back? Is she gonna be a friend in Atlanta, or is she gonna be a friend of both shows? Like, what do you think? Do you think she'll fit in with Real Housewives of Beverly Hills? I
That
mean,
part.
that's the right there. And then let us know if our video quality on your end is not acting right. Please be sure to let us know so we can see your comments. But that's enough of Cynthia. We'll get back to her in a minute.
Ooh.
Get back to her. Let's talk about good old Eva since we mentioned Eva. Let's talk about Eva. Eva has
Uh,
made it very clear that she's been very prevalent this season and has made a difference, and that Nene has not made a difference, and that Nene has hardly been on the show and hardly has contributed anything to the show. I'm curious as far as what you think. Do you feel like what has Eva contributed this season? I mean, I don't even remember nothing other than her eating ice and FaceTime and all the time.
well, I'm very big on I support all people. I do. I do. I support them all because I want all y'all to make y'all coin. Because if you're not making a coin, what are you doing? But I can't agree with Eva. Ooh, she's sipping the tea because she know it. So I can't agree with Eva when she says that she is the reason why there's a storyline on Housewives of Atlanta. I cannot agree with Eva when she says she has a storyline on the Housewives of Atlanta. Because when you know what her storyline is on the Housewives of Atlanta, then you let me know. And you can email me at the linkagency@yahoo.com at any time and just let me know what her storyline is. Even Eva, you can reach out to me, Eva. Tag her. Let her know she can reach out to me personally. Just let me know what her storyline was. If it's based off of her family having their 14th kid, um, and she's been pregnant the time she's on the show, then that's her storyline. Then that's great, and I love to see the positivity of a black family, having children. My mom had some too, so
You so
I just
petty.
and I think that's great to see positive black families being raised. But then what else? like, do you have a business that you're doing with your Black family, or go into some of the political stuff that your husband is doing, because he has a lot of political things, and you have a lot of. Since you have the storyline, I would have loved to see your husband get that lady out of jail on hip hop. Yeah. Yeah, I mean, you got somebody out of jail on that show, right? And so, like, you could have played into that and showed like how you guys are helping get people out of jail, and doing the whole movement and stuff like that, working with King. I mean, anything. Anything would have been great for a storyline besides you being pregnant again. For every season you've been on that show. So that's all I'm gonna say. I don't see no storyline.
I feel like, to be honest, okay, so yes, I agree. Like, there's nothing wrong with somebody being pregnant, but you still need to offer some substance, something else to it. It would have been good if she had allowed us been real. If what her bridesmaid said was true, as far as she don't have money or not as much money she portrays herself to have, and she's living from house to house and renting this place and renting that, she should have allowed us into that. Yeah, I know you don't want people all up in your business, but you signed up for that too. You get a paycheck for that. She should have allowed us to go on that journey with her, and that would have allowed more of us to connect with her, understand her, be more empathetic, and relate to her. But hiding it and acting like, like I said, if it's true, I feel like a part of that, what they said was true. But if it is true, then let us go on that journey with you. Let us see you broke.
And also,
Or
we get to see that journey with your ex-husband or ex-boyfriend or ex-baby daddy. Like, even I know it's a secret, but the more you put that boy on blast about the stuff that he's not doing, like you already doing on the show, go let us see you go to court and fight for your child and change your kid's name, and how much stress has really been on you and your family because you're still dealing with this man and all this stuff. Like, let us know all of that. Like, let us see that part of your life. That embarrassing part that you think is embarrassing is entertainment for TV. What you're doing right now, it's okay. You're getting a check, so it's doing its job. But how long is that gonna really last for you, sis?
see, that's why she's clowning on that reunion, because she's gonna have to bring it at the reunion in order to
And you have to
maintain
make
her.
it right, because you have to
Nina,
give a good
Nina
old
said she
Oscar
trying to
winning Portia Williams outstanding. Like, it was so
perform.
outstanding. It made Andy think about it 5 years
Thank you,
ago
God.
today,
Yes,
to say how good she was, for her not to get fired from dragging this girl down the street, but to get her a full peach from being a friend on this show. Girl, y'all better pay attention. Y'all ain't paying attention. Portia is an Oscar winner. She might act dumb, but that's all acting. The acting is in front of that dumb. You can't just say you're dumb. No, you acting dumb. Yeah, she acts. Y'all better pay attention. She getting a full check.
Nene said that Nene said that Portia is bringing the energy for the reunion, trying to turn her plum into a peach. I died. I said, "Oh my gosh!" She said, "A plum to a peach." Okay.
Wow.
I just feel like Eva has a imaginary beef with Nene. Her issue, her main issue that she keeps referring back to was Nene was Mike. Nene was Mike. Y'all are contracted to be Mike during scenes, and then you're not allowed to take your mics off during a scene. And so nothing she said personal. And I feel like if it was, Nene would have told her, I'm Mike. Like, just like Candy told Cynthia, I got my mic, I'm mic'd up. That's all Nene would have had to do was say, hey.
Yep.
I got my mic. So if you know you're contracted to do that and it's part of your obligation, why are you creating this fake beef with Nene? And how is it that you and Giovanna didn't know each other last season, and nor did you talk to her this season, but all of a sudden y'all are
besties. You besties now?
y'all friends.
Oh, okay,
But you didn't
girl.
know
She's trying to
you
make
didn't know
everything. She wants to make. She's so entertaining that on this reunion, she want to make it so entertaining where we want to know what she's gonna do next season. I don't want to know. I'm good, and I hope we
me
can go
too.
into Kenya so I can get his last little statement on Eva. So continue talking about what you said, because I got a statement about Kenya, Eva, and Cynthia, and I'm gonna bring it to you
And
live right here in just a second. As soon as she
I'm gonna
get me.
tell you how Cynthia, it was mostly Cynthia that she video chat with, FaceTime, whatever. If it was not for Cynthia, Eva would not have been guaranteed her money this season. Because see, these women are contracted to be on so many episodes.
Mm-hmm.
Because she never showed up to any episodes, had she not had that FaceTime, she would have not gotten paid.
Yep.
So technically, because Cynthia was FaceTiming her, she still showed up on the episode. So therefore, she was still getting a check. But if Cynthia hadn't done that, if she wasn't in a good place with Cynthia, whom she dogged out last season, she would not have gotten any money this season. And to be honest, she hadn't brought anything this season. She talked about Portia, she talked about Dennis. Okay, then she backtracked and said she didn't say certain things that she said. Then you hear her chiming in video messages. Hey girl, what's going on? Oh, this what happened. Oh, really, girl? And then she throw a little something, and then that's it, and you don't see her anymore. To me, she showed up less than Nene did this entire season, and had the nerve to put her mouth on Nene and say Nene hadn't been here and she hadn't contributed anything. Well, my question too is, if Nene hadn't contributed anything, why is everybody talking about that most of reunion y'all was interrogating Nene? If she didn't bring nothing and she wasn't on the first 6+ episodes, what do y'all have to talk to her about? Because see, if she wasn't that interesting and she had nothing to contribute, then that means y'all should have been talking to each other about what was going on the episodes she didn't show up. But we're gonna get to that in a minute. So let me ask you, what do you feel about Portia? Because Portia's main storyline has been Dennis's infidelity. Um, him cheating on her while she was pregnant. My issue with that was, I remember when all of that stuff was going on, how one day she unfollowed him and like 2 days later she started following him back. And then you heard they were broke up. But I'm like, what y'all break up? 24 hours?
Mm-hmm.
48 hours? Like,
Mm-hmm.
and then y'all still had pictures shown of that was being put out of them going out and doing stuff together. So I was like,
Yep.
but when you see the season, it's portrayed like I wasn't fooling with him for a while and he immediately moved out. But no, when this stuff actually was going down, y'all just did 24, 48 hours of unfollowing each other and then following each other back. And then still going out and doing stuff. I don't know. Shorty, what you think?
From my sources from the streets, I wasn't born and raised in Atlanta. I just know the streets of Atlanta. I graduated from that area. So with that being said, um, I think Portia had a great way to keep herself with that peach. I definitely do. I do think Portia is on the reins of learning from Kenya Moore about how to keep your relationship entertainment for the TV. I think I'm never going to say out loud that I think Portia's relationship was purchased on both ends. I'm never going to say that. But what I will say is that it was perfect for TV, and she's utilizing every bit of that for TV. I'm not just saying that Dennis hot dog stand has probably moved on up in the scales, like because he's on national TV talking about his hot dogs, and every time she brings something there to a restaurant or to a food place or to somebody's dinner, if you noticed last season, it was all about those hot dogs. So he's getting that more money, that more coin, the more she talk about it. And then every time you see him, they're talking about their marriage and everybody feeling sorry for Portia. And then all of a sudden, Portia have bed sheets online. The next time you see it, then she's trying to lose weight. So then all the women are following her based off of those storylines they think is a real storyline. But to be honest, I don't see any of that being a true storyline. Her marriage being in default. Girl, you knew when you met him, he was a cheater. That's how you got him. You cheated. He cheated on you with somebody else. As a matter of fact, you was the cheater with him while he was with somebody else. So let's solidify all of that and say, baby, you knew what you was getting yourself into when you said you was gonna marry this man and want to get pregnant. You got pregnant by a rich man. And because you get pregnant by rich men, don't mean they always going to be a good man. So therefore, now you stuck in this lifestyle with a man that already came into your life with fidelity. His lifestyle was a fidelity lifestyle. That's why all these women that was in your real circle that kind of cared about you on TV, they were trying to tell you on live TV, like, no, girl, no, sis. My friend is the girl that you having sex with her man. So I don't think, another thing about Candy, I don't never see Candy getting caught too much in a real death crazy type of lie. Like I haven't seen that often. Now I've never seen that with Nene, and I'd rarely ever see. I can hear them trying to correct her on her reads and stuff and how she talk to people and treat people, but I don't never see her liking a lie like that. Now the expert can correct me if I'm wrong, but I feel like when Candy was coming to her sincerely about Dennis doing all this thing, Dennis doing all this stuff to her, I think Candy was truly concerned because she felt like I like you enough now to give you my real honest opinion about your relationship because we are sisters, not on the show, but really felt like they were sisters. So she was trying to give her some sincere relationship advice. She thought it was a real marriage. But I think now in this season, Candy got it like, oh, this is just entertainment. This is just TV. And I think, and I'm not trying to say that that's a bad thing because Kenya do it well. Let's be clear. It's not something new, just like Nene does it well. Nene led the game on the divorce and coming back together and keeping my name in the streets still while I'm not on your show to make you come. If y'all ever notice, I'm gonna bring this up with Nene too. Nene is very good, and she is no other housewife that had them filming while they're in one show in one state, filming in a whole nother state to make sure she's on the show. And have you ever noticed how all the girls is like, she came back because she needed this and all that? And I've never seen that in the case. Because why would they, if she needed it so bad, they would have told her, bring your ass right on back to Atlanta and start filming like you were. They went to LA while she was doing Glee and all those other shows to film her. And I'm not a big pro Nene like none of like that. I'm just being factual. Like that's facts. Like if you really notice, she's the only housewife that ever had that experience where she could be in a whole nother state and they gonna film in 2 different states and call it the Atlanta Housewives. Did y'all notice that? That's catch that tea. So anyway, but with that being said, I think Portia's storyline is a purchase storyline. I think Dennis was trying to when he first started, he had a hustle in him because he knew what Candy and Ty was doing. And I swear that Candy and Ty and Portia are the same. They're the same. Them messing around with each other and all that stuff in previous seasons, they the same. I think Candy gave her that whole knowledge and key, like, girl, you need to find you a nigga, you need to find you somebody to be with. He need to have a little bit of money and hustle, and Dennis was the perfect pick. They went through a dating site to find Dennis, and then she found the perfect pick, but didn't know his real life story. And she found that pick. She got that person with the coin, got pregnant by him. She was able to show that on live TV. She able to play this game of I'm not with him today, but I'm in the house with him tomorrow type of game. It's entertainment for y'all. But if you noticed, where Dennis made the biggest mistakes when he tried to do a show outside of the actual show that Portia was actually on, which is the Housewives of Atlanta, and it was going to be a more intimate show, and Atlanta Housewives don't like that. If you ever watch Candy shows, Candy describes to you how you can get your series, and it's not filming yourself 24 hours a day like you on Big Brother, because it's going to take away from the lifestyle of what you bring to Atlanta lifestyle. So for Portia, it'd have been better off for Dennis, if you're watching, pay attention. I'm giving you some insight. It'd have been better for you to bring your drama that's going on in the house of the Williams into your work life, and then show that in the show a couple of episodes, and then you can start bringing your crazy antics of people that in your show on the show, and that way you can get your own spinoff and you can get paid by that white dollar. Not saying that there's nothing wrong with the white dollar. Thank you for that coin. But I definitely would say, get that money. Instead of you trying to do it on your own, trying to take the hustle, you're trying to do too much. You're trying to be Candy, and you ain't on Candy level yet. You ain't talked to Candy about how you do those series and those spinoffs, and they're trying to get this and get that. You ain't got that level, but they gave it to you this season right on YouTube. If you go watch it, she'll tell you how.
I don't agree with him. I do not agree with him. I do not agree. I feel like he already had money. He had several restaurants, not just the hot dog deal, which he now has is now a franchise, but he has several lounges and restaurants outside of. You said a little hot dog stand. That's so shady. He's so shady. Talking about he had a little hot dog stand. No, he has several restaurants, but I feel like I agree with the fact that she had an idea what she was getting based off how she got him. And if you chose to ignore it, then that's on you. But I also feel like they took an opportunity presented to them by a blog that made an assumption that he cheated, and they ran with it because people kept talking about them, kept them in social media. And so they went with it, and that helped create them a storyline. And I feel like, I don't feel like Portia is a Kenya because Kenya paid for every last one of her men. Portia ain't paid for nothing. Them men generally wanted to be with Portia. She didn't have to promise them no money.
Well, I wasn't saying paying them. I was just saying more of because Kenya does pay. It's just Kenya-ish where you come up with this relationship drama where it really ain't none. It's like I don't think the reason why they broke up the second time is he cheated on her and all that stuff like that whole sis, we know now we all know Dennis is a hoe. Like let's be clear. Candy told you that a whole season ago that he's a hoe. So you're not surprised about him cheating on you at no time while you pregnant and before because he was cheating. You sipping your tea, girl. We okay. We can always agree on one thing. When she sipped that tea, I already know I'm in the right pocket. I'm in that pocket. Like, yeah. Anyway, but I'm just saying, like, I just feel like it's not that she's paying nobody because she fine. She definitely, Portia, you'll change my life, girl. Change my life. I go right on back to where I need to be. Right on back to where I need to be. But I definitely can say.
I want to sit.
But I definitely would say she didn't pay for them. But I definitely she learned the craft of making up these storylines for your husband can be included. You know what I mean? Like she
I
learned
don't
that
feel like
craft.
she learned what she learned from one person. I feel like she's learned a lot from everybody. I feel
Mm-hmm.
like Nene has talked to her a lot,
Mm-hmm.
and even on several episodes in the past, Nene has been like, "Portia, you don't want to do that. Portia, you don't want all these girls
Yep.
against you." Even when she fell out with Candy because of what happened with Phaedra, she was
Yep.
like, "You cannot be on this show and have all these girls against you." And she was like, "You need to make it right." Well, she's
Yep.
right. Nobody wants to. If nobody wants to film with you, then you can't
Where
stay.
you
Which
gonna
is
do on
why
the show?
Phaedra is not still on the show.
Mm-hmm.
So yeah, I do feel like that. I feel like shoot, Cynthia and Will. Think about her and her relationship with Will. What was the last season? The beginning of last season. How Eva told her he had a whole girlfriend.
Mm-hmm.
And he was like, "That was my girlfriend, but we're not together anymore." But y'all was together last month. So,
And
and
she's
how
with
long
you
you
supposedly. She had already gave the storyline. This is why I know this is be paid and promoted for these people to have these whack relationships and all this stuff, all this drama going on because they always want to tell you like, oh, well, he had a boyfriend last month. I mean, girlfriend last month. She was how she promoted in the show. They was together for like 6 to 7 months, or maybe 3 or 4 months. They had just got together, but they were together enough where they bringing gifts. He coming to spend the night. He doing all this extra. So you've been together more than a month. So baby, you can say they're not paid. I ain't gonna say they paid, but I definitely say it's a built-in storyline for you because baby, he supposed to be on TV with a whole girlfriend, but he trying to get that check. That check is important. People don't
look
understand.
how
It's not about the check that you're gonna get. It's a check to be on that show.
look how it was with Walter and Kenya. Look how they were. She
Yep.
was in this relationship with him and really trying to get him to marry her, which it was not that serious. And then right after he get off the show, he married somebody and have 2 kids with them. So it's
Mm-hmm.
like, okay, baby,
You
which
can tell it was
which
already paid, written down, but the guys' lives can't stop because they still doing one thing with somebody else and doing something with somebody else. See, I want to wait till they gonna come out where Portia dude Dennis got 2 other babies. Where they gonna talk about that at? I'm not saying I heard that on the street. I'm just saying that allegedly. No, I'm just joking. I'm just joking. But I haven't forgot about the Kenya, Cynthia, and Eva story that I'm gonna give y'all as soon as she give me the okay to talk about Kenya, because I'm gonna give it to you.
yeah, we gonna get to Kenya in a whole second. We're gonna get to her in a whole second. I wanna hit on you know what? Let's go ahead. We can go ahead and talk about Kenya. We can go ahead and talk
You
about
sure?
Kenya. Go
Okay.
ahead.
Well, I'm gonna say this to you guys exclusively from my mouth to your face. Hey, come a little closer. Come a little closer. So, what I want to tell you is, I think that Kenya, Cynthia, and Eva can all be removed from the show. Like they can just get. I'm good, and the reason why I'm good, I know that was exclusive
I
content,
thought you
right?
was gonna say something big.
No, but seriously, I just feel like they should be gone. We can live without them on the show. Like I'm good. I'm so good. Like the made up drama, the fake by boyfriend, by husband. All of a sudden, your husband staying with you in quarantine, but y'all divorced. And girl, but ain't no divorce because you can't even find your marriage license on the paper because you never really. I'm good. I'm good. Like, and I'm a true Gemini. Once I'm good. Because when Nene left for like 2 seasons, and I really was a fan of Nene at that
She
time,
was gone one. She
one
was
season.
gone one season.
I
Yes,
was
one.
gone that whole season. And I barely came in on the season she was on because I didn't believe she was really on there. So I had to wait until she was in like 3 episodes in, and I was like, keep peeking. Is she there? Child. And then when
See,
she
and I'm
wasn't
glad you
there, I
brought that up. I'm glad you brought in Kenya, and I'm glad you brought up Nene being gone. Because one thing that Kenya, I'm sure, is a sore spot for Kenya. When Nene left, she was not fired. When Nene left, she was gone for that one season. None of her castmates rallied for her to come back. Nobody did. But
yeah.
Bravo went and brought her back. Okay? Bravo went and brought her back. Hmm. Why is it when Kenya left, she had to have a whole posse rally together in order for her to be able to come back? Mm. Kenya, if you that bad and you that, you bring that much, why is it that your friends had to go to bat for you to bring you back? But when Nene left, she didn't have to have anybody come back for her. The network came back to get her. If I'm wrong, if I'm mistaken, please let me know. Please correct me. But Bravo wasn't studying Kenya like that.
Not at
They
all.
weren't studying Kenya. Not at all. So
And I
you
just,
got what kind of
I honestly feel like Kenya can be gone. And the reason why, and now I think her little stuff on TV that she does, the whole drama and all that, is entertaining for you guys to watch. I don't like it because you're doing it to another black woman's business. I don't like that part. Now, I'm okay with you doing the whole drama trying to mess with somebody's marriage, but then when you look at your marriage, it's kind of like, why are you doing that too? Give me something else. If you're gonna come back next season, give me something else. I don't want to talk about your fake hairline products. And the reason why is because you're still wearing wigs. Your hair is long, and it's inherited, and you got it from your ancestors. And I do get it all that. Hey man, you got it. Whatever. Can we have something else? Can you give us some real life, real story line? I understand you don't have your parents in your life, so you can't do a Candy and talk about your
Chelsea do?
dad.
She got her daddy. She do. She got her daddy. She got a relationship with her dad.
Okay. How many times have we seen him? Once, twice, maybe three.
No, he was on when it was
I understand that.
2, 3 years ago. Her dad was on there several times. See, there
Yeah,
you go. And he was on there.
I was just being
Her dad
honest.
was on there last year when she married Mark, and her dad got to meet Mark, and he was on there not last year, the year before last.
Mm-hmm.
But this is the thing too about Kenya that I have an issue with. Own your stuff. Own it. You talk about how Nene is not classy. She's classless. She's talked about Eva. She's talked about Portia, how they are terrible women. They're terrible black women, support other women. They call women out of their names and they just malicious and mean. But I'm sitting up here, they talk about my husband and they've attacked us and they talked about my daughter. Da, 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 da.
Yeah.
Just because what you did in the past was in the past, you still did it. And the only thing that makes a difference is now you're in a position where you know what it feels like when somebody does it to you. She has an issue with folks. You called me a bitch. Oh my gosh. But you called Tanya a B and a see you next Tuesday. All at the same event. You call that woman out her name twice.
Yeah.
And then you say how nobody should come for your business. Even Candy was in her confessional. She was like, when it comes to somebody's business, how they make their living, that should be off limits. That is
Mm-hmm.
money that they make to feed households and to pay their bills. That should be off limits. You don't mess with
Agreed.
somebody's income. She
Agreed.
did that to Marlo. everybody talk about how Marlo make her money, but when Marlo puts a business out there, you come in with a 2-piece band to promote your hair care line. How disrespectful is that? Then on national TV, Candy said it was like 3 hours. We didn't see all of that, but for about 3 hours, she was going in on Cynthia Bailey, not knowing anything about wine, and that is her business. And then when they went to the vineyard, remember when they went to the vineyard, Portia was the one that told the guy, "Hey, my friend owns a wine cellar or
Mm-hmm.
wine business, and she sells wine." And he was like, "Really? I have some friends in Atlanta I would like to connect you with." It wasn't her best friend Kenya, it was Portia that did that.
Mm.
That bragged on the fact that Cynthia had that. And I'm like, if this is your friend, you don't do that stuff. And the only reason why people quote unquote forgive Kenya, because she's very good with an apology. And
Very.
she's very quick to do an apology, which is why Cynthia is so forgiving, because it's like, okay, she apologizes, she'll have a problem apologizing. But how many times you gonna allow somebody to apologize about
Said it
stuff
quicker.
that, yeah, and there's no excuse for somebody to tell you about your own engagement. Like, even if I know me and this dude, we're gonna get married, and I'm expecting us to get married, that don't mean I know when he's going to ask me to marry him. I want that part to be a surprise. So what makes you think it was okay for you
To
to come
destroy
and say,
everything about it.
hey, I think he's going to propose to you. I really do. If it's supposed to be a surprise, I don't need you telling me that. Now, like, what kind of friend is that? And you talk about, they talked about my marriage to Mark, and that's off limits. No, no, no. You talk, and even this season, she talked about Nene and Greg, and talked about, said Nene was abusive to Greg, and she feels like Nene and Mark have a lot in common with how they treat their spouses. And of course, she talked about Portia and Cordell, and said Portia was Cordell's beard. She talked about Peter, and at the reunion, and said that Nene and Peter was flirting, and they could possibly have a thing going on. And Nene checked and told her, "You're not going to disrespect my husband and try to accuse me of having something going on with Peter." Then she talked about Kim Fields and her husband Chris saying that he was gay, and now she's talking about Tanya Sams and her fiance and the Cookie Lady. In the same season that you got your stuff going on, you talking about Tanya and her man. Come
And
on
the
now.
thing that I just can't take it. Like when I say she can be gone, like I can't do it. And it's like it's fake, unmade, unneeded drama. Like it's unneeded type of drama.
To
Like
me,
give
she
me
brings
something
down
else.
the franchise. To me, she just pollutes the franchise.
She definitely
It was
does, and it
so.
just as a representative, not only as the one of the first Black women or one of the women to be a part of Miss USA, um, or it could be Miss America.
Miss USA.
I know it. I know it. That was so messy because she hates that.
You
I
see what
think
I'm
that
doing?
I think that her storyline has to be something else. And I think because she didn't get the glory or the good publicity, or she didn't do very well with her hairline publication on the TV show, it didn't really look as advertising as everybody else's did. I think that probably was, I don't know. It's just like she's trying to be a Debbie Downer on everybody else's lifestyle, on everybody else's positivity that's going on in their life. And I feel like you have to do something with what's going on with your life that makes you entertaining. Don't destroy everybody else's life. Why you have to be a Debbie Downer to bring down everybody else's life for for you to have a storyline? That just never made sense to me. And I never will understand why you have to bring somebody else down to do that. I It
Did you
just was
see where
never.
she had her soft lunch at Sally's a couple of weeks ago? I'm like, you already did your lunch 3 or 4 years ago for Sally's, but she did a soft lunch or whatever, and it was like workers there. Like, it was not like people there, but it was like, okay, what was the point of what you were doing? And I think what she does not get, it's okay for you to have a hair care line, but And I heard her products were actually good. I've heard several people say that her products are actually good.
Me too. Me too.
But
So go
but
out and get that Black Ladies products for your hair if you're
hold on.
trying to get your hair to grow
But
and all that.
why would I, if I have edge issues, why would I want to buy a product for edges when you ain't never had an issue with edges? I would be more prone to buy something from Marlo, who she says she has issues with her edges, and they came back and she came out with a product that she was using for that. I would be more prone to buy that from her. And
Yep.
why would I want to buy a product from somebody that genetically has long hair and has always had long hair? Like, so your hair been long since you was a little kid.
Yep.
I'm gonna be prone to buy. This is just me personally, and y'all, my hair has been long. I choose to keep it short because I'm lazy, and I'm cute, and I got the right shape head for it. But anyway, I would be more prone to buy products too from somebody that's had damaged hair and issues with their hair growing, and they were able to do it. It would sell more. Not saying it's not possible, but I feel like she should have had somebody that she used her products on that had those issues in order to advertise and market it better to make more money. And then I'm like, don't knock Marlo because she was wearing some raggedy wigs. I can buy Marlo's wigs because she can sit up there and say, "Yeah, I was wearing these wigs that weren't quality. This is what I found out that I need to do. This is what I discovered about my wigs, blah, 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 blah." She has more insight into it. And for Kenya to be upset with Tanya for putting out in the world that we've been knowing that Kenya was wearing wigs and hair clips and ponytails. You can't have your hair be down to your ankles one day and then the next day it's down to the middle of your back. Like we know that's fake. We know that's not real.
Right.
That's not gonna mess up your brand. What's gonna mess up your brand is your attitude and how you treat
That
other
part.
people. That's what's gonna mess up your brand. And I'm like, she need to take some notes from Candy. Because one thing I can say about Candy, I do feel like in certain instances, Candy throw rocks and hide her hand, but she's better at doing it. And she also knows how far to go. So it does not mess up her brand. It does not mess up her money.
Yep.
Settling in okay? Yeah. Are you both,
Sorry, that's me. My bad. I took my
I'm
headphones off.
like, that sounded like Nene.
And low key was. It was that commercial where she's doing. That's so crazy that it was a commercial where she was doing the little
Was it that
game. You know the
game?
game.
Yeah.
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 And she comes in on the thing. That's what the game was that you hear. And then she's supposed to basically come in with the game like if she's playing against somebody.
Yeah, I'm eating freeze dried, Kathy. Freeze dried strawberries. Okay, I'm
Okay.
gonna stop in a minute.
No, girl, eat as much as you like. Share the wealth, share
But
the wealth. So I definitely feel Kenya can be gone. I no longer don't want to discuss her because she's disgusting on some of the things that she does to other African American women on the show, especially for the ones that you call your friends. Um, there's no way you could be friends of someone and you're trying to embarrass them on live national TV. It to me that don't
on more than one occasion.
several occasions, and you and several of the people that you consider your friends, you've done that to them on national TV. I'm
Now
good.
I'm
Next
serious.
question.
So we touched on Portia a little bit. I have to say that you stupid. I do love the fact that she reached out to Nene versus Nene having to reach out to her because Nene, like everybody's saying, Nene went on an apology campaign this season. But Kenya, I'm gonna have to bring her up because she was like, she's apologizing to everyone. I'm like, but Kenya had to do that at one point. She had to
Yep.
apologize to everybody. Oh, how quickly we forget. But that's neither here nor there. But I like the fact that Portia actually reached out to Nene in Greece and pulled her to the side and had a conversation with her. And that I love the fact that they were grown enough to recognize that because we were on the outs, we both said some jacked up stuff about each other and owned it. And we're like, regardless of what we said, because we were angry, we were on the outs. We're not gonna go back to that. We we were in the space in which we were in, and we're in a new space, and we're gonna stay here regardless of what anybody says. Because remember, Candy and Portia, I mean Candy and Nene had a Candy and Kenya had an issue with the fact that they made up. And I'm like, why would you not want two people to make up?
Mm-hmm.
And why does it have to be fake? Why can't I be mad at you when I'm mad at you and I make up with you when I make up with you?
Mm-hmm.
Why do I have to stay mad at somebody? I don't get that.
It's stupid. And mm, I do love that Portia did make up with Nene because I think Portia needed that. And I think Nene needed that as well at that time. I do feel that their apology was probably pre-done via phone or via message, or we're gonna do this when we get to Greece together type thing. Just my personal opinion, because how they played it was so like, I love you and I love you too. It was just the most, girl. And I'm like, girl, y'all really rehearsed this. Like,
Now you sound like Candy.
you had to rehearse this under the scenes because also know that Portia was in on the whole we don't like Nene with Candy and all the other girls that was trying to oust Nene out of the circle. And so for me, I think Portia got a smart awakening when Kenya joined the party of the whole we gonna hate Nene because Kenya really hates Nene. And I think the other girls are only doing it just because they know it bothers Nene. Not that they hate Nene, it just bothers Nene that nobody's being a befriend. And they knew that was going to bother her more than it would to like be mean to her and like that. They was like, we just want to befriend you. We just want to have you as our friend in our inner circle. And I mean, that bothered her to a sense, but it didn't bother her as much as it did when she realized she was on the outside compared to being always on the inside. And I feel like that apology needs to happen because you got to have people in the circle to continue to stay on that show. You can't be on that show without having a friend on the show that wants to film with you. So the girls kind of pre-planned. This is just me giving you my opinion. They pre-planned the whole we're gonna leave her alone, not talk to her, and if we're not filming with her, how's she gonna be on the show? So if you kind of notice this is my opinion, the first 3 episodes she wasn't on the show, it was more because they probably couldn't get her filmed with the girls because they already pre-planned these first 3 episodes. But when you know how Bravo and how they do it, they always try to executives and producers, as Nene like to call them, they always find a way to bring her in there, and they found a way to bring her in there when they had that gay pride float. You can't separate that pride float and Nene and her not being there because she was already in the presence of the gays. The gays love Nene, so her being on that pride float with the other veterans and then sprinkling a couple of housewives that don't like her here and there on that float, that made them bring her in that show. So I don't think and the reason why none of the girls can actually admit they were purposely trying to oust her from the show because that would purposely make her be evil to them back, and her evil wrath to them back would be worse than what
I
they
don't
can
think
do.
she would evil back. I think they would validate her. I don't think I
It will
think the
validate,
reaction.
and that's her wrath to me. That's her wrath. The
That's not her
validation
wrath.
of her being right. Because right now they're trying to make her look like she's a liar and she's not this type of person she don't tell the truth. They're trying to portray that, but we as fans of the show, we know you can't say that Nene's a liar because if the expert this expert right here, then let me tell you, she already told you that she don't lie. She don't lie at all. So to me, you have to really be like, that's the wrath of Nene. The wrath of Nene is she don't have to say not one
But
word.
let me bless you. Let me bless you with some tea, because what a lot of people have to remember too is Nene was not on the first few episodes because when they filmed, it was a few weeks after the reunion. It wasn't like months and months. It was a few weeks after. So it was a natural progression to show where they were at that time. So it wasn't planned that Nene was not going to be on there. It just naturally was that Nene was not going to be on there because they were still following the girls of what happened after the reunion. And so, yes, they was not talking to Nene at that time. They had to follow what was going on with Portia after the reunion and after her show with Portia's having a baby. And so we had to pick up to see how that went, and then see how Kenya was getting back into the fold, and her meeting with Cynthia and Candy, and then what all Candy was doing with her surrogacy and bringing that to light. So it would have been choppy if can't if Nene, and let's be realistic, it would not have made sense for Nene to be in episodes filming with those women that she was not talking to. It would not make sense. That would have been fake. It made sense for us to see the true nature of what was going on. Those girls getting together and Nene not being around because they were all not friends or not in a good space. The only person that she was in a good space with was Candy. Her and Candy was talking. Candy also made the statement that she understood when Nene said at the reunion, "You're not important." Candy said, "I understood the reason why she said that was because I didn't have anything to do with what was going on. So what I was saying was not relevant. I was not a part of it." She said, "I understood it. I respected it." So Candy was like, "It wasn't a big issue to me and I didn't take offense." So ironically, at the beginning, her and Candy was the ones, that's who she was talking to. Marlo, no, she wasn't talking to Tanya because her and Tanya was on the outs. She was talking to Marlo and Candy. So it wasn't as though Nene wasn't talking to anybody. She still was talking to two people. But Nene is such a presence on the show. Even if Nene wasn't talking to nobody, Nene would still be on the show because everybody on the show was still talking about Nene.
That part.
See, it's the difference between Nene and Phaedra. See, everybody on the show ain't talking about Phaedra. And I'm using her as an example because everybody didn't want to film with Phaedra. But not only did they not want to film, nobody is talking about Phaedra anymore.
That part.
Even after she did what she did, nobody was talking about Phaedra. But everybody is still talking about Nene. They still talking about Nene. So I think it's ironic too that Nene made her comment on her YouTube live about, she was very adamant saying how it's amazing how after every show that after every season, this person always has a show. They always have a show after every season we do. Well, there's a difference between a spinoff, which is still in association with Real Housewives of Atlanta, versus you having a show that is separate from Real Housewives of Atlanta. And the only person that has had a show consistently almost every season after Real Housewives of Atlanta is Kim Zolciak. She has a whole show, not a spinoff, but a show. Yeah, she has a series, episode after episode, season after season. Candy, when she has one, she's okay. Let's keep it real. We can't pinpoint Candy because Candy is not the only one that has had a spinoff or a mini series. It's been Candy, it's been Nene, it's been Portia, it's been, has Cynthia had one? I'm trying to remember if Cynthia. I don't think Cynthia's had one because her marriage was on there. Those three have had stuff, but Kim is the only one that has had a show consistently every year. And it started off because when Kenya walked out that last season, she was still under contract. So in order for her to fulfill that contract, they started Don't Be Tardy for the Party for her to fulfill it. But then they kept filming it every year after that. And so she has her own show that's separate from Housewives of Atlanta. Nobody on Real Housewives of Atlanta other than Kim has a show. And like Nene said, she said every last one of the women on Real Housewives of Atlanta has something to offer to where they should have been offered their own show other than that one person, which is Kim. How Candy took that personal and thought she was talking about her, I'm sorry, Candy, that ain't about you because you ain't had no show every single year. You ain't had nothing every year.
No, oh no.
So that everything ain't about you. So that part. My other thing is Giovanna, Gail, that chick from Clark. What's she say? Atlanta Clark University. You live there. What she say? She's that chick. This Snake Gate. Look, this Snake Gate. She is steadily. I personally feel like she's thirsty. She is trying hard to get her a spot on Real Housewives of Atlanta. I was watching straight from the A. Was it last night? The other night? Shoot, it was one of them nights. Nene gave us some tea. She said that Giovanna, she was filming for free.
Blue.
And then he said, if you're offering stuff for free, what make you think they not finna pay you? You giving away all the goods for free.
My God, today.
And so when I'm like, to me, there's no way Giovanna can come back from these text messages that Nene spilled. Because it clearly shows, because Giovanna was trying to say Nene orchestrated the release of how they were going to do stuff. But when you read the text messages, it's Giovanna. It's her saying, like, I'm gonna do it like this, and then you say this, and da da da. And Nene's like, cool, okay, girl, all right. And Nene's thing was, we weren't best friends, we were cool. And I was on the outs with all them girls. So if that's what she wanted to do in order to get on, and she's able to bring this information, like, okay, bring it. I don't have a problem. She said, I don't. She said she didn't owe those girls anything because she wasn't cool with none of them. So why would she give any of them a heads up? And it makes you wonder, like, if she was taping them, what all was she taping with Nene too?
And my whole thing is, Nene is about that coin. And I never would have thought to this day that I would be a pro Nene person. A pro Nene person. Like, not saying I was
Me
ever a
neither.
non-Nene person, nothing like that.
I didn't care for her a lot.
But for me to be like pro Nene this season, and she wasn't even on this season, let them tell it at all.
Right, that part.
Y'all better watch out for that rat that y'all messing with. I don't even know why she got into this lawyer situation with Nene. I have no idea why Nene is even consulting with the lawyer. But bravo. If it's not
It,
about you, just fix it now so it will never be about you. Don't do that. That's gonna be
I
huge.
think I think part of why she got her lawyer was she did send a cease and desist from to Giovanna, but it only addressed recordings and tapings. Like, so if Giovanna recorded or taped Nene, she cannot release those tapes.
Got you.
Anything else, it doesn't matter. But any recordings or tapings that she may have had, she cannot release them. But I'm sure there are some stipulations to what if she did, like how she may be able to release them, but it probably has to fit certain parameters or whatever. But it also makes you wonder, are there any other reasons why Nene hired a lawyer, an attorney? And I'm like, my thing is, Giovanna has been lying. Her story's been changing. Even in the text message she was sending Nene, 1 minute it was a recording, 1 minute it was a video, 1 minute is an audio. Like, which, you got a video, audio recording? Like, which
one
what
is
is
it?
it? Right. And how did you obtain it? Was you recording? Did you call your husband and have his voicemail open where it recorded the conversation you had? Like, it's been so many different stories. But I'm almost like, Nene, at this point, she lied. She did record. She talked about she had been recording for months. And she had been trying to get tea and information on everybody, including Kenya. Like, there's nothing else to discuss. And she's trying to salvage how she messed up so she can get back on Real Housewives of Atlanta by any means necessary. Because with her on this, I watched it earlier today because I missed it Sunday. But her apologizing and telling them that she lied about the recording because she was angry, that was her trying to make amends and say, no, I never really recorded, because if they feel like she never did record, then that may open up the doors for people want to record, to tape with her. What you think, Al?
I agree 100%. Giovanna, your friendship is gone, girl. I'm gonna tell you to go on bye-bye. We'll see you another lifetime. Maybe we can meet you back again at Clark Atlanta University. And it was nice seeing you. Like, I just feel like Giovanna has a lot of things to offer. It just won't be offered on the show of Housewives of Atlanta. I do
What do you
feel
feel
that
like she got to offer? I need to know that. Like, what do you feel like she has to offer?
the entertainment of it all, the ratchetness of the being drunk and being a friend, being drunk.
We had Shamari. That was Shamari
Mhm.
last season. We don't need that
Yeah,
again.
we don't need that again. But you have a lot of things to offer. Just it just won't be offered on this show.
I don't feel
You
like
know-
she'd be good for this show, to be honest. Like all that ratchet and
oh
she's
yeah, I mean,
very
I think it's entertaining, but I think we're at this stage in life in 2020 where we don't have to see the ratchetness of a human being all the
because I
time
feel like she'd be on the same level as Kenya.
for entertainment. Like, I don't think that's worth my time. But I do like, you can still see a little drama. Like, for example, one of the most busiest women on that show is Candy, right? With her business and stuff going on. Ken, you never see Candy do ratchet. You never see her do ratchet. Now, you can see her get in an argument. You can definitely see her tell you she'll drag you out there, but you don't never see her do it. You never see her in a Portia situation where she's getting her face done, like getting a little photo shoot at the prison or jail, whatever. You don't never see that. But you always see a little bit of drama with her.
Hold up. You said like Portia. You talking about when Portia drag Kenya?
Yeah, but you'll see Candy get mad and cry and talk crazy and stuff like that, but you don't never
Lies,
see the action.
lies.
So,
Can't,
so
Candy cry all the time.
cry all the time, but you'll never see her do the action of really dragging somebody around. She'll tell you she'll drag you. She'll punch her hand a couple of times, but she ain't gonna drag you. And
But
one of
you
the things
let's
about that,
let's but let's be honest though, and we gotta put it in perspective. The
mhm,
difference between Portia and Candy, let Kenya put her hand in Candy's or put something in Candy's face or
Tish,
blow a bullhorn in Candy's face. I feel like it would have some hands would have been laid. And
yeah,
like she said, so it's not that, oh yeah, Candy would never do it. The stuff that has been done to other people have not been done to Candy yet.
that is true, and I do 100% agree. But I definitely feel that I don't want that no more on the show. I'm good. For me personally, as a fan, I'm good on all that drama that you're doing where you want to drag somebody. If you that mad you want to drag somebody, baby, it's time for you to go. It's time for you to go somewhere else, do it somewhere else. Like, this is the reason why we still are waiting on basketball wives, because they can't keep their hands and they're jumping on the tables and throwing shit. Like, nobody wants to see that no more. It's 2020. Like, I'm not saying you can't have a drama with, like, how we saw the drama on Housewives with Nene and how none of them were talking. This is the type of drama that I'm good. I'm good with this type of drama right here. It's nobody fighting. Like, I don't want to see no black women fighting on national TV. And it's already that everybody's at home in this quarantine, and we can go political too, because I
Mm-hmm.
do political too. But we at home in quarantine. Who wants their young daughters to see other women dragging each other? Now, utilizing your words to have conversation about problems that you're having, that's okay for me, because I think your kids need to learn how to communicate. And while you at home with your children, teach them how to write cursive, because they missed that in their time. They don't know that. It's the small things, because we're gonna have to start writing letters in a moment. Um,
You a
we're
whole
not gonna
mess.
have no mail men and nobody like that. So I just want to put that side in there. Um, but yes, Giovanna definitely needs to go ahead and keep it moving. Girl, it was cute having you on the show for this season on the 2 episodes that you were on, maybe 3. Girl, and it was good that you were able to be talked about throughout the season because of the snake gate. We all figured it out. I really think your best way to win this game would have been if you would have just came out. Yes, I recorded it, and I can't wait to play it for y'all and played that throughout the season, because then you would have been known as the girl that recorded everything they said, and you would have waited till the end of the reunion to play your recording. That's what you would have won it. But see, you played it where you didn't know who recorded it, you didn't know what they were talking about. My person slipping some tea. I might be on a little hunch. But if she would have came out with it,
She couldn't. Her
she couldn't
husband
though.
told her not to. She
She
couldn't go
couldn't.
against her husband.
Yeah, She couldn't, but if she would have came out with that tea like she should have and said, I recorded it and I'm bad enough to record it, and I recorded several of y'all talking bad about each other and waited to the reunion to play that whole snake gate would have been all about Yvonne the whole season. And next season when they brought it back, they'd have been talking about how Yvonne recorded us and we didn't do it, and she could have played it as, I got some more stuff for next season for y'all because I heard you say this, and that would have helped her get on, escape on through. Even if she would have escaped on through being a friend, because she would escape on through being a friend with Nene. Because yes, I recorded it, and I'm gonna tell her all about it with your little fake friends that because she would have been on Nene's side, and Nene is the main storyline. How Marlo has floated on the show. You got to know how to play your P's and Q's, and she didn't play it right. She didn't stick with.
No.
I'm the BITCH in charge, and I recorded y'all. She was trying to
But
play
what
like she didn't know
happened?
who recorded it. And
No, what happened was her husband told her not to say anything.
Yeah.
She went ahead and told Nene. Nene went ahead and told Candy. Then Giovanna came back and was like, girl, Rick gonna be mad. He didn't want me to say nothing, but I said it anyway. And Nene was like, girl, why didn't you say something? I already mentioned it. So at that point, the cat was out of the bag. So then she had to go around and say, when Candy asked her several times, sorry, I got some of my tea.
It's okay. Get it out.
When Candy told her, and I have been using hand sanitizer, y'all. I've been eating earwax. Anyway, so when Candy asked her if she was the one, she had to hand sanitizer. She had to lie. Well, she didn't have to, but she chose to lie because she knew she had went in opposition of her husband by mentioning it to Nene in the first place. So to save face, she was like, no, it wasn't me. I don't know what you're talking about, blah, 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 blah. But you said in front of Nene and Marlo at Nene's house that you had receipts. And you sent a text telling Nene you had what you said. You quoted telling her what you had, how long you've been recording. So I feel like what she should have done was say, this is what she should have done if she wanted to save face. This is my opinion with her own husband as well as the girls. Yes, I did tell Nene that I recorded. Yes, I did have a recording. Al, you sleep?
No, I'm up. I promise.
Why it look like he doing this number?
I'm not. I'm up. You know me, I'm making a coin while I'm making a coin and making another coin while I'm making another coin. I'm working, but I'm listening to everything she's saying.
So anyway,
go ahead, continue.
What would have been smart for her to say, yes, I told Nene that I had the receipts. I did record. I did do that. But my husband and I feel like it would be in the best interest of myself or the women on this show for me to release it. So I decided to delete that. Bam! You could have been honest and then said you deleted it. That would have took care of that. That would have been like, it wasn't a good idea. I thought about it. I realized that it was wrong. I didn't want to, because even Cynthia in this last episode that they showed Sunday, she was like, what you did made my situation with Nene so much worse than what it could have been, what it should have been. Had you not done that, we would not have been as far. And so my thing is, I'm sure Cynthia is feeling some type of way because it's like you saying you lying and you done created additional drama between me and Nene. And what Nene has done since the reunion is Nene has sent Cynthia all the text messages that she got from Giovanna. So she could see for herself, this is why I said what I said, and this is what she actually said, and this is what she admitted that she did. Here's the tea.
Yep.
And I'm looking forward to next season because with her receiving that information, I want to see how their relationship transpires if Cynthia stays on. And I'm gonna tell you something. Kenya does not want Cynthia being friends with Nene like she was before.
Mm-hmm. The devil. I hate her. I hate her on that show. I just can't do it. And I know it's supposed to be for entertainment, but the way you treat your sisters, I just can't do it. And then and even the ones you consider your friends, I'm gonna leave it alone. I can't do it though. I can't. If I have to write a
And then
letter,
you got Tanya. How she did Tanya.
ooh.
How
And then
trifling was that?
the fact you brought that woman to a dinner. And what if Tanya would have been cool enough to bring her husband? So you gonna bring this woman into? I would have
But I'm
beat
gonna tell you something. Folks not liking Mark, but I love Mark because he gets
girl
her
because he
all
corrects
the
her
way
every time,
together.
every
He
single time.
she does not act ratchet. She don't act shady. She don't do none of that when she's around him. Then
No,
I like it. Everybody talking about that he should ride for her, and if she says she don't like somebody, then he shouldn't like anybody. No, I don't agree with that.
nope.
I don't agree with just because I don't like somebody, my spouse or my boyfriend shouldn't like them either. No, you don't burn your bridges because you never know. Because sometimes the very person you step on be the one you
That
gonna
part.
need in the end. Like no, you don't mistreat people.
Mm-hmm.
No, and what your issue is your issue. That ain't my issue.
Nope.
And I can go to church on that one, but I'm not gonna do it. I'm gonna keep it Real Housewives of Atlanta tonight. But
So I'm gonna put my finger up and go and exit out of church so I can go into this tea about. I feel the same exact way you feel when it comes to. Well, let me go back because Nirvana is something I didn't mention. That would have been a great storyline for Yavanna. Come on, get Yavanna. She gave you something. She gave you a gift of what you really could have used this season, but unfortunately you didn't, girl. So we'll see you next lifetime.
I even
Um,
watched a tidbit of her on Bridezilla. She was off the chain, and I'm over the top then because she wanted to be
on that
this,
show.
yeah, and this big personality, be memorable. And I'm like, okay, whatever. But anyway, back to more important people. Um, like I was saying about Tanya. Tanya may have been in her relationship with her fiance 7 years engaged, whatever. It is not up to me or anybody else to determine when somebody else should get married
That part.
because
And
apparently
the fact that
what's working for them is working for them. And I'm like, she at least lives with her man.
that part.
They in the same city, they in the same state. And I love the fact that when they were at the bowling alley,
Mm.
Portia was like, why Nene not here?
Quick. And was the
Yeah,
first
it's
one to
like, where
say
Nene
something.
at? It was, I invited Greg. Why didn't you invite Nene? Because we're on the outs, and Mark was like, that's not what I told you to do. I told you to invite everybody. I don't care who you, this ain't about being into it with somebody. I told you to invite everybody. Why isn't Tanya not here? Well, it's a couples thing. Mark said, that, I didn't tell you it was a couples thing. I told you to invite everybody.
Mm-hmm.
Cynthia's here. Her man is not here. Eva's here. Her man is not here. So how is it a couples thing? And I
Yep.
was like, boy, he getting her all the way together. Oh. And Portia was instigating, like, so why so saying, why you got a problem with them? So when you go, I was like, Portia, you better ride hard for your big sis, little sis.
Mm-hmm.
Go, girl.
Every
Go.
time. Every
And then I
single
don't like how
time.
she did Marlo at his charity event that he had, where they had a seat for her at the table with everybody else, but because she
Right.
brought her nephews, they wanted her to sit at the table in the front and her nephews to sit at the table in the back, which is what
Mm-hmm.
she had a problem with. Even though she didn't plan it, she had a problem with them trying to have the kids sitting at the back. And how are they going to receive anything if they're sitting at the back of the venue
Yep.
away from what's going on in the front? And Mark
Right.
checked Kenya. He checked Kenya. Like, no, you don't, no, this is important. And my thing is, even if she didn't give them a heads up and didn't pay for those kids to be there, that event was
Mm-hmm.
about kids, and she was the only one to bring some
To
kids
have
there.
kids. Yep. You're
The
right.
only one to do it. And so I'm like, come
You're
on,
right.
Kenya. Come on.
And she was being
And
so
I'm like,
messy about it. And she purposely made sure she didn't sit with the normal crew that's on the actual show with the Peach. She let her sit on
mm,
the friend seat, like, and then it was a little bit like confusing enough for the person that's actually at the event to be confused. We on TV
mm-hmm,
was confused until somebody, well, for me, I was confused until somebody said it out loud that, oh, the seat was right behind us, but it was over to the left of us, but she really couldn't tell
mm-hmm,
us that. So they was confused trying to describe it to us on TV. I can only imagine the
right.
person that was trying to sit in their own seat being confused. But who am I? Again, Kenya can be gone on like Bemus. I think Tanya was spot on when she had that wig and said, "Girl, how you give us this good old? I have a good hairline, but you have a good old wig that you need somebody to pick up, and it was so important for you to pick it up. You couldn't just leave that wig sitting in your hotel room, and you had to call on live TV to say, hey, girl, I know you're recording, but can you grab my wig, please? Like, can you please hit me? Like, get my wig. Like, anything you can do to get my wig. Your wig is a whole other country. And if you're rich as you say you are, if you got your own coins together, you go buy you that wig. If you had a good PR team, your PR team would just call that company and say, hey,
could you
I'm
mail it?
and I want this wig, please. Send me another one. Thank you. Oh, okay. But I'm gonna
Oh,
let y'all.
now you said a word right there. You said a word. You said a word.
I'm gonna let you have your coin, Kenya. I'm gonna let you do your thing, girl. But we all know, girl.
You preached the whole sermon right there.
I just
That was
I can't stand it. I can't do it. And that fake
well,
and
y'all.
stuff, I can't.
I'm gonna say this. I just want we're gonna talk about this some more. We got the reunion coming up next week. It's so much for us to talk about, and I'm sure it's a lot that we missed. And please, 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 if y'all got any questions, any comments, please feel free to leave them. If we're gonna go back and review this tape, we're gonna go back and review this tape. So if there's any issues with the recording, we'll make adjustments for next time. But y'all, we love reality TV. We're probably gonna be talking about Love and Hip Hop, Atlanta, Basketball Wives.
I'll be bringing my political view and stuff like that, of things that's going on in our real lives too, including the pop culture. So just be looking out for that. You can follow me on the Link Agency on all platforms. All the E's are threes, or you can also find me on my personal page at al.williamsforreal. It's al.williamsforreal. You can find me on all platforms as well.
That part, that down there.
Right
so
there.
Please be sure to like, share, and subscribe.
Yes.
The only way we can grow is if we know, and that's by you telling us things that we need to do better. We do appreciate you guys. For those that did check in, thank you guys so much. And for spending part of your evening with us. And we'll be with you next time. And hopefully Tamara, my sister Tamara, will be able to join us.
Tam.
Yes. She's with my nephew.
Heart by your comment, just know we saw your comment, we're reading, and sometimes I might respond, but just know that heart means we saw you.
Yes. So thank you guys, and y'all have a good night until next week. Hey, tune in. The reunion's supposed to be Sunday. Tune in. Night night.